You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans. Make sure you subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and push the like button for me.
Or else you'll be Hakai.
Not Beerus.
You know how this works. Make sure you enable all notifications on the channel and watch the entire video all the way through.
And don't forget to follow UnrealEntGaming on both Instagram and Twitter.
That's enough. On with the video.
So with the titanic battle involving both Beast Gohan and Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku now seemingly having to continue on Beerus' planet, here today, courtesy of this month's V-Jump magazine, we do have additional news, information, updates, leaks, and images, not only in regards as to what is to be expected moving forward, as this seems to be the final manga chapter that's going to be depicting what essentially is a brief sparring contest involving to see who is stronger between Goku and Gohan, but as the story now continues to move on by, the million-dollar question moving forward is what kind of direction can we expect following the initial battle involving Gohan and Goku, and more importantly is which of these two warriors is going to emerge victorious by the end of their overall sparring session. Now before we dive any further into this video, if you are new to the channel and of course have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball related, including its manga, anime, video games, fan animations, fan mangas, and more, in which would also like to be kept up to date with everything in regards to the Dragon Ball Super manga, the Dragon Ball Super anime, Dragon Ball video games, and any and all additional content within the Dragon Ball universe, then I do encourage you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to always be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto the channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are simply excited to see what the future holds for the Dragon Ball franchise. And with all that being said, as courtesy of this month's V-Jump magazine, DBS Hype, DBS Chronicles, and Herms98 over on Twitter, the following Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 103 leaks, images, spoilers, and information goes as follows. Now, as of course you guys can see here on your screen, what initially ends up taking place after the fight involving both Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku and Beast Gohan is we get to see Gohan actually go toe-to-toe against BROLY, and it was only after Goku's request and having to swap out by having BROLY fight Gohan, to which BROLY ended up doing until Gohan got the better of him by using his beast form to combat BROLY. However, BROLY ends up absolutely losing his mind, as of course you guys can see, and powers up into his Super Saiyan form to combat Gohan's beast form. However, just when you think that BROLY had lost all sense of control, or if BROLY wasn't able to kind of find himself in this moment, well boy oh boy are you going to be surprised to see this, because not only does BROLY have a better sense of using his Super Saiyan power, but is also even able to go as far as to control it, to which, as of course you guys can see, this right here is Super Saiyan BROLY with pupils. Controlled Super Saiyan BROLY finally manifested within the manga, and if you go back and recall the events involving the Tournament of Power when Kale had done something similar, essentially enough, this is what BROLY ends up doing without really losing the mass that makes BROLY so iconic to begin with. But it's more clear now than how it ever was before that this is a much more stabilized version of BROLY than how we've ever seen be introduced in the manga before, which, mind you, he is also able to give Beast Gohan now a much greater fight than how he was previously. However, if you believe that BROLY, even in his controlled form, is going to get the better and defeat Gohan, that doesn't appear to be the case, at least in this chapter, because while the two are shown engaging each other, although Gohan is shocked and taken back by BROLY's immense power, what Gohan ends up doing during this battle is Gohan ends up taking control slightly by swinging BROLY around and throwing him off into the distance, and from that point on you can already kind of tell before everyone else decides to jump on in that this wasn't going to be an easy fight for either party. But even then, when going back to the original fight involving Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku and Beast Gohan, as of course you guys can see, it was only upon Gohan being shown having to go all out by using his full power against his father was he only then able to get the better of him. But even then, if you pay attention, Gotenks was surprised, BROLY was surprised, Whis was surprised, Beerus was surprised, Vegeta was surprised, everyone was surprised by this, because nobody really expected for Gohan to actually go the distance in doing this to Goku, because he did manage to drop Goku out of the form briefly, but by no means did Goku back down, by no means did Goku quit, because he immediately from that point then went on to jump back into his Mastered Ultra Instinct form before going as far as to suggest BROLY to swap on in battling Gohan during the middle of their fight. And so something else that is worth noting, as of course you guys can see, is there is a portion in this chapter where Goku is just effortlessly dodging each and every single one of Beast Gohan's attempts, each and every single one of his strikes, and you can see it upon Gohan's face that he's frustrated, that he's angry because he can't seem to touch his father based on the way he's moving. And so if anything else, this should be a clear-cut sign that Goku potentially just might be faster than Beast Gohan. But even during the portions where Gohan had decided to go all out and use his full power against his father, had become the only other way which Gohan was even able to remotely go as far as to touch Goku to begin with. So not only is it very cool to see the way these two are engaging because they are going all out, especially based with how the manga chapter comes to a close with both father and son admitting that they were going all out from the beginning, but what's even more crazy is by the very end of this entire ordeal, to which, as of course you guys can see, for whatever reason we don't end up getting Ultra Ego Vegeta versus Beast Gohan, but instead this kind of looks as though this is either A, Super Saiyan Blue, B, Perfected Super Saiyan Blue, or C, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta actually going head on in fighting Beast Gohan by himself, because by the very end of this we know that this entire ordeal becomes a free-for-all battle with Goku being the one to stop everything. So it's very interesting to see how Vegeta did not decide to go as far as to use Ultra Ego following the events of the Granolah arc up until this very point in time. So maybe that is something worth noting because we don't really understand or see kind of what happens involving Vegeta and Gohan during this ordeal, but what we do know is that once Vegeta gets involved, he goes as far as to use Blue against Beast Gohan, but we're not really sure based on what we know if Gohan just ends up dog walking him, or if, surprisingly enough to the shock of everyone, Vegeta ends up holding his own in Blue, mind you. So to which by the very end of the manga chapter we do in fact actually find out what happens before initially the chapter comes to a close, as the following translations go on to state, and I quote, Goku says that it's time for all of them to go back, but Lemo says that the food is ready and they all sit down to eat. Trunks says that this food is much better than the one over on Capsule Corp, and BROLY says that Lemo's food is the best in the entire universe. Goku then asks on who the two strangers are in the car, and Gohan says that they're a part of the Red Ribbon Army. Vegeta, on the other hand, doesn't know about who they are, and Gohan explains that they are a part of an evil organization. Carmine then later says that he will never do evil ever again, but Goten and Trunks doubt that he will. Goku says that he'll go and take them back to Earth and asks Vegeta if he wants to go back too, and says yes because otherwise Bulma will forget about him. Goku says farewell to Beerus and Whis and says that he'll come back to visit them soon, as he then detects Piccolo's key and teleports the whole car back over onto Earth. In the meantime, Piccolo is surprised to see all of them and angry to see the two Red Ribbon men, who essentially take off within their car, as Goku says that he almost didn't recognize Piccolo for how strong he has become, and eventually asks to go and fight Piccolo, but Piccolo says no because he and Gohan have to go pick up Pan from school. Goku doesn't understand as to what Piccolo is saying, and Vegeta criticizes him for forgetting about his own granddaughter. Piccolo says that as punishment he'll have to go and pick her up from school with them, as we cut back to Carmine in the car as he says that planning world domination won't make him rich, so instead he ought to start a real business. The three later arrive at the school, and Pan immediately teleports close to Goku and kicks him, in assuming that Goku is the enemy, as he smiles at her with Pan understanding that he means no harm. The chapter then ends with the four of them starting to then fly away. Now, as of right now, as of this very moment in time, we don't really know if they're planning on going right into the end of Z with Goku having to meet Oob and then later transitioning on over into new arcs and potentially even Black Frieza, but based on the verbiage of this overall translation, it looks as though everyone is back home on Earth, Beerus and Whis are back where they respectively belong, and again, there is no sign or indication that something big is going to happen outside of understanding the fact that number one, Carmine and Magenta are not going to be doing any sort of devious or evil acts behind the scenes after witnessing all that they have seen, on top of the fact that it looks as though now with Pan having to meet Goku, we are going to be entering the end of Z, or at least having to near it relatively soon, which is also very interesting considering the announcement made within the V-Jump magazine in understanding the fact that the Dragon Ball team next month for the month of April is going to be taking a break, as we really don't know as of this recording on how long this break is going to be, but I can only go as far as to assume that this was of course due to the unfortunate passing of the legend Akira Toriyama, and my only assumption is that the Dragon Ball team, Shueisha, they're all going to gather around, get their thoughts together, and kind of plan ahead moving forward after this. So do not expect Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 104 to be dropping in April, because it might be dropping either in May or June, or really pretty much whenever Shueisha decide Netflix to go as far as to return with the manga, because with everything that was shown taking place, I do believe that the team does deserve some kind of a break just to kind of grieve and to go as far as to collect themselves mentally before returning. And I think that once they return, are we going to see plenty of bangers carry on? So in my opinion, I do believe that Dragon Ball Super and the future of Dragon Ball is in good hands, but I would like to know what you guys think down in the comment section below, not only in regards to seeing Gohan swap hands with literally everybody, but also at the same time, even going as far as to see Broly control his Super Saiyan form by gaining pupils and running that fade with Gohan to the point where they also appeared kind of even, but it looks as though, in my opinion, Gohan might be the strongest among all of them. But let me know what you all think down in the comment section below, as we are going to be translating and covering the entirety of this manga chapter once it is released in English on March 20th. So again, you do not want to miss out on everything that's about to take place involving this upcoming manga chapter. So once more, I want to thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all so much for your time, to which once again, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel, then I do encourage for you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button, on top of giving this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more, and with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope you guys have a great night or day wherever you are from, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.